I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda? Is there any changes first off? I didn't see nothing.
No.
Okay.
So move.
Approved?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We are gonna start out, with the resignation of Jolene Wheeling. We wanted to bring in, somebody that hasn't been on the council yet, but has a knowledge of our city. So there was a consensus to give Scott Demick a call. He knows our city probably better than all of us put together. To help serve out Jolene's term, until we get newly elected people to make it fair for who's running for election instead of just, throwing one of them on there. So that was the consensus. And we're gonna do an oath of office for Scott, so he can help us out for the next few months. So, Scott, if you wanna come up. Oh, okay, I'm so sorry, I'm just excited, yeah. So yeah. So I can't get a motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. See, I told you, he knows more than the boss, so. If you wanna come up, Scott, we'll read this to you and we'll get you going. So raise your right hand. I, Scott Demick,
I, Scott Demick,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and to discharge faithfully the duties of office
and to discharge faithfully the duties of office
of the Melrose City Council
in Melrose City Council
of the City of Melrose, Minnesota,
of the City of Melrose, Minnesota,
and to the best of my judgment and ability.
and to the best of my judgment and ability,
So help me God.
so help me God.
Well, welcome here for a short term. Thanks, Scott. Glad you're here. So. All right. We are to an open forum. If anybody would like to speak at the open forum, you're more than welcome to come on up and speak. All right. We're on the consent agenda. There is minutes, bills, purchase orders, there's investments, there's a couple of gambling resolutions for St. Mary's Church. There's gambling resolution for the Melrose Fire Department Relief Association, gambling resolution for Green Grove Rod and Guns Club, gambling resolution from Melrose Chamber of Commerce, and a gambling resolution for the Church of St. Mary's. Can I get a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. We are on to the reports. Police Chief Mouse.
Good evening. July 2026, in our traffic area, we had 40 citations, 98 verbal warnings, and 8 written warnings. July 26, we had 389 calls or requests for service. Last year was 269. And at the end of 2025, we had 1,915 calls or requests for service. This year, we had 2,224, so an increase of about 309 over the year. 22 agency assists. Those numbers are down from the June numbers and May. And the way numbers are looking for August, they'll probably be back up that close to 30 range again. We've been on the interstate and over in Sauk Center helping quite a bit on some interesting and violent calls that I'm glad stay in their community and don't come to ours at this time. So we will do any agencies assist in the world we can if it stays out of our city. That's always the hope anyway. Related to our ordinance violations, we had about 48 or 50 of them this year. We've got to the point where we issued 9 administrative citations. Those were the citations related to junk vehicles, debris, and all those sorts of things. 2 years ago, a year ago, was a $750 fine that the council agreed to impose. Of those 9, 1 of them paid. 4 of them were resolved, so we have 4 remaining. We'll probably be bringing those to the council next month for abatement and working through the court process instead of allowing the citation to sit out there. Open houses are next week for the schools in the area, so watch for extra traffic there. School's going to be starting the first week of September and then trickling from there on. New rule out there for school buses. It used to be the stop arm, flashing red lights, stop arm comes out, and that's when the violation occurred. The legislators changed that now, so when the flashing red lights are out, that's when the violation occurs. So if you see flashing yellow, which they're required to do before they put the red on, it's not speed up, it's not, let's try and get through it like a standard yellow light is out there. Make sure you're stopping. It is a 20-foot range that you have to give them, which isn't much, length of vehicle or even less. So make sure that everybody's paying attention for the school buses. We don't want to have another safe year. Only other couple areas, we've had much more speed enforcement on Craft Drive southeast, especially with the bridge projects on I-94. The mapping systems and the GPS systems are kicking people off of the freeway and pushing them through Melrose because of the backups that are happening. People aren't realizing it's a 30-mile-an-hour zone, and we're seeing very consistently mid-40s to mid-50s, and our officers are increasing revenue for the city in the last couple of weeks. So we hope that people check their GPS, watch for the signs locally or otherwise, but there's been a significant increase there, and with the bridge projects not expected to be done until fall of '27, we could see this for the following summer as well. An awareness for the council as well as city staff is aware of this, or will be updated tomorrow at the all-staff meeting. We had an individual that was trespassed from the city center and city properties last year. That is expiring in the beginning of September. There has been some expression by this individual to come to city center after it does expire. Every right to do so. There's no reason that we need to put another trespass notice in place at this point. If things change, it's definitely a process we can work through with the city attorney again, but I just wanted to make the council aware of that. I believe that they have reached out already to some of the members, but just an informational item at this point anyway. Any questions?
All right, thank you. City engineer report, Dave.
All right, good evening. Andrew and I went through the 2026 street project and walked that on one more thing that we're going to add to the list for the contractor fix before we make the final payment on that guy. But otherwise, everything else looks pretty good. We were actually fortunate to be out when it rained, so we could actually see how the water flowed, and that hasn't happened a lot lately, so that was a good day. But everything looks pretty good out there. We're pretty happy with it. So other than one more item to add, we'll be ready to pay them guys by the end of the fall here. Otherwise, budget, and that's been about it for me. Questions?
Sounds good. Thanks, Dave.
Thanks. Community Development Director report, Sheila.
So we have several agenda items tonight related to the former Genio site redevelopment project. We've also had meetings this week with the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency related to 517 Main Street East. A phase 1 environmental study was done there, and we're working with the owner of the site to try to get him help, resources to really know what he has there, and that's the Bowling Cleaner site. The Planning and Zoning Commission at its meeting next Monday will be reviewing a preliminary plat for Birch Hills Addition, which is subdividing a 7-acre lot into 2. This parcel was previously divided once, so it required platting at this time. Staff is working on updating the pylon sign in the I-94 Industrial Park. We've had some new businesses added to the park since the sign was originally put up, and a name change recently occurred with Bauer Ag buying Gen X. And so there's some requests to update that sign. Another new home is breaking ground in Highlands soon in the KL Edition, and 2 lots are pending on the Highlands north side, so new residential construction continues up in Highlands. MATA has approved 1 application and is expecting another to utilize the Commercial Rehab Deferred Loan Program. We've been seeing some houses in town getting some new siding, new roofing. That was also thanks to the Stearns County Housing Trust Fund. So these projects are really noticeable, and it's really starting to make some of the neighborhoods and some of the businesses, especially the ones facing here, City Center. There have been some nice siding projects and stuff on some of these commercial buildings. We have 2 grant applications still pending, including Small Cities to rehab 20 single-family homes, and the second deed grant for the Genio parking lot. And then the final thing, I want to invite everyone to the Melrose Area Arts Council mural unveiling, which is next Wednesday afternoon at 6 o'clock at the Midwest Automatic Building. They've been working on this project for several years. It's on the front page of the Star Post if you want to see a picture. So all are welcome. I'm sure they'd be glad to see you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sheila. City Administrator report.
Yeah, so it's my 1-month anniversary today. So since joining the group, been working on a lot of getting up to speed on the projects and working with Sheila and Andrew, the other department heads, working on the project piece to it. Budget, Jackie and I have spent a lot of time putting the budget together and working with the different department heads and getting that stuff completed. On the utility side of things, the wastewater, at our last meeting, we approved a pump and blower project that will be starting here in the next couple months. We are still continuing to work with MRES with the distribution maintenance agreement with the city staff, and we are hoping to get that agreement completed within the next couple weeks. And the last thing that from the PUC meeting was generation, and we're gonna start looking at potential generators. The ones that we have down in the power plant are long overdue. I mean, the 1950s, I think, is what those were put in. So we just want to start looking at what options that we have before they're all out. So at the earlier phases of that. So kind of where we're at with that right now.
All right. It is 6:23. There's resolution number 2026-41, setting a public hearing for establishing tax increment financing district number 14-1.
Yeah, the city of Melrose has acquired the former Genio turkey processing plant site. The city has received a deed grant for redevelopment. Interested developers are considering TIF as a tool for redevelopment, and TIF eligibility was a condition of the grant. To establish a district, the council needs to set a public hearing. So staff tonight is requesting a public hearing be set for the council's September 17th meeting. Documents are currently being prepared by TIF consultant Jason Murray. So the action for tonight, council to provide consideration to approval of resolution 26-42, calling for a public hearing to establish TIF district number 14.
Did you have any questions on it?
Not
All right, can I get a motion to approve?
so move.
Second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion's carried. Criminal prosecution contract 2027-2028, Stearns County Attorney's Office.
Yeah, the contract we have currently with the Stearns County Attorney's Office comes due every 2 years. They are looking for an 11% increase from $15,300 to $17,000 even. This generally what the contract was set, it was a tier system based on the number of prosecutions they've done for agencies our size or countywide. We haven't increased significantly in the prosecution work that they've done. It's more of an adjustment for the cost of doing business for them. We maintained that $15,000 mark for numerous years, surprisingly, and in my opinion, and kind of the expression of the county attorney was that they need to make adjustments to pay for the attorneys that are actually doing the work, not necessarily that we've increased the number of prosecutions that we've had. So thankfully, we've been consistent on what we're doing. It's just a matter of it costing us a bit more. So my recommendation would be to maintain our services with the county attorney's office.
Okay, any questions?
There's no other options to do a bid with anybody else.
There are private firms that have done this in the past. We have not seen that their proposals have been anywhere close. If they're putting in actual dollar amounts for their hourly rates. Our previous private individual we used was roughly a $40,000 to $50,000 a year average. And then the county attorney's office made the offer, or we sought them out previously. And that's when we came with those numbers that were, at that time, 13,000, went to 15,000, now 17, or 12 years ago, more than that.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, Chief Jensen was still here, so it was probably 14 to 16 years ago when we converted over to the county attorney's office, so.
And our current city attorney wants nothing to do with the prosecution side of it.
They don't have the staffing that I'm aware of to take on a load like that.
Sure.
All right, any other questions?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Forward sales agreement, S1 MRES.
Yeah, so, you know that, as we all know, MRES is who we purchase our electric power from. And they are asking us to extend the agreement from, currently it's at January 1st, 2057 to January 1st, 2067. And it's more for for their levying and bonding piece to it. the PUC did approve this at their last meeting, so just an extension of the,
I don't know who else we buy our power from, but it's kind of a one-stop shop, isn't it?
right? Yeah. Unless you plan to get on the
Unless we
treadmill
put
and start.
a generator on the dam over here.
Yeah, yeah, right,
Run a few light bulbs.
right.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion is carried. All right, appointment of city council representative to the city boards and commissions.
Yeah, so Jolene, as we all know, vacated her position. She did have two spots, that she was fulfilling, the Planning and Zoning Commission and the Housing and Redevelopment Authority. And we are making a recommendation that Scott complete, or has offered to fill those two positions as well, so.
All right. So the first one will be for a representative for the planning and zoning. Can I get a motion to approve?
So move.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Sorry,
Opposed?
can't vote.
Motion is carried on that, and
Vote
then,
for himself.
appointing Scott to the council representative to the Housing Redevelopment Authority. Can I get a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried.
Congratulations, Scott.
More work for you again, huh? All right. Police squad cars quotes.
Seeking approval to go out and get quotes for replacement of the squad car in 2027. This is a budgeted item. Just looking to get approval to move forward with that, and then we'd probably bring forward a separate quote in probably November or so for the equipment that goes into it, because I would believe will exceed the $10,000 normal levels that we're allowed to spend at. So but, this would replace the 2016 squad car.
All right. It's a normal thing that we're doing, so can I get a motion to approve?
We're just looking for quotes at this point?
Just
or
looking for, get permission to go out for quotes, and then we'll bring back those numbers and either a recommendation or a direction from the council on what would be the proper one to purchase.
Okay.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried. Supplemental letter of agreement with SEH for plating of the Jenny-O Turkey Store.
In moving forward with the redevelopment of the downtown Jenny-O site, the city will need to plat the west side of Fifth Avenue Southeast. This is going to include delineating that portion to be sold to Leadstone, platting the extension of First Street and through the area, and then connecting it back up with Fifth Avenue and creating commercial lots north and south of the road extension. Easements also need to be prepared as the city has significant infrastructure running north and south through the proposed Leadstone lot. The First Street extension plat will also facilitate the street construction project for 2027. SEH, our city engineer, has provided the supplemental letter of agreement for the work, which was included in your packet. So tonight we are seeking council approval for the supplemental letter agreement, allowing the platting work to start on the west side of Fifth.
Okay. Are there any questions? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried for that. And then sub-grant agreement with Stearns Electric deed grant.
Yes, Matt O'Shea is here from Stearns Electric, so I invite him up. The city of Melrose has received a $100,000 child care economic development grant from DEED for the daycare center being opened at 900 Craft Drive Southeast, which is the former Stearns Electric headquarters. Matt, if you want to come up and speak about the project. So the city received the funding, and we needed to find a way to basically get it to Stearns to help with the project. We worked with city attorney, Stearns Electric's attorneys, and we were provided a sub-grant agreement from DEED, which is a template agreement, which DEED has used in the past. It's been reviewed, but I'm going to give Matt a chance to talk about the project.
Yeah, I guess I didn't have to prepare anything like that, but Matt O'Shea is CEO of Stearns Electric. Yeah, it's just based on, the whole Minnesota Deep grant for the daycare project and looking at the 2025 study that the city did, looking at the needs of daycare, we thought this was a good fit. I think we're this close to getting there and just working out the correct funding structure to make it happen. And like Sheila said, county attorneys involved and me involved to make sure that everything's how it needs to be, and so that's what brings us here today as far as the sub-agreement with the city and Stearns Electric. So I'm just here in support and any questions that the council may have.
No, and we really appreciate you using that for an extreme need for our community. It's a good place for it. It's wonderful. So thank you for helping get that going for our community. That means a lot. We really needed it, needed the help, so. Is there any questions?
I'm just trying to understand why the city of Melrose, I mean, so Sheila wrote the grant, and the deed grant goes to Stearns and Mary Moose. Why do we have to approve this?
The grant comes to us.
So we have to
give it
allocate
them.
the funds? I
Yep.
Gotcha.
Politics.
Politics.
Yep.
Yep. And we do the management too of making sure that the funds are being used for the appropriate
Yeah.
ways too.
So, otherwise, if there's nothing else, thank you again, Matt. Appreciate you being here also. So, can I get a motion to approve that?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion is carried. All right, we are, bid package estimates for Jenny Electric Store demolition.
So the first step in the demolition of the Genio main processing plant is the creation of a bid package. This is subject to the deed grant, which we received for $669,000. That is going to help partially fund the demo. So it has to be done in a certain order. It has to be prevailing wage. So we can't just say who wants to tear it down. We kind of need to have a structure, and we need to have a competitive bid process because it's going to exceed $175,000. So by statute, we have to have a formal competitive process. So the first step is for some contractor to prepare the bid package, the guidelines on how to bid. We reached out to many individuals. There are a lot of people interested in doing the demo, but not necessarily the bid pack. Some of them are not bonded to do the bid pack. So we received 3 quotes, which were in your package. If you have any questions about them, currently the low bidder is Goldman. I know Goldman has had talks with SEH. We believe that SEH also bid on the bid pack. They're gonna have to work really in concert with each other because the street project's gonna be tied in, the surveying is tied in, everybody's gonna have to work together on this project to make it happen. So, the bids, the 3 different bids are in your package for consideration, if you have any questions.
What was it, 32,000 or
Yes.
something to that effect?
The low bid from Goldman was $32,770.
Okay, and that's just preparing
Just preparing the
package
instructions.
to say, hey, this, you gotta
Yep.
take this light bulb out and you gotta set it over here. I mean, just all that.
Timelines, making
Yeah.
sure they're insured, making sure that, yeah.
So if we go through, they do bidding and based on the engineer's bid pack and get halfway through the project and the demo, whoever gets the bid for demoing it goes, well, this wasn't in the bid pack. It's gonna be another $300,000. Who's on the hook for that?
I would assume whoever creates the bid pack, because it's gonna have to be comprehensive, which is why they're doing it and we're not doing it.
Right, so I just wanna make sure that, like, we're watching that's covered in there, that
Mhm.
they're specifying it and they're charging us 33, that's gotta be, part of it is insurance, their insurance cost
Yes.
for,
And that's why some of
Righting
them
it wrong.
declined to bid. They were not bonded to do this work.
okay,
Or have the capacity to do it.
Yes.
right.
Yep.
So how are you formulating your motion then?
Motion to approve with contingency that it is, we are not on the hook for anything, left out of the demo bid. Does that
Missing
make sense?
items.
There was a 10% overage, isn't there?
Yeah, that's included in the bid though, yeah.
I'm fine with Scott. Do you have anything to add?
No, they're significantly lower than the other 2, so.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with, can I get a motion
That was-
first,
yeah.
and who would do the second?
Second.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried on that. So, on to new business, City of Melrose Quarterly, financial report. Ms. Jackie.
Good
evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. Tonight I'll be presenting the city's financial results through the second quarter of 2026. Overall, the city remains in a stable financial position with revenues and expenditures generally tracking within budgeted expectations. As I go through the report, I'll highlight a few of the more significant revenue and expenditure variances, discuss the general fund net position, and provide a brief update on areas we'll continue to monitor during the second half of the year. As expected, timing plays a significant role in the second quarter results, particularly with property tax settlements and local government aid received later in the year. I'll also point out a few items that are performing differently than the prior year and any areas that may impact our year-end projections. Overall, the general fund is tracking well through the second quarter. Revenues are generally coming in as expected, with some categories affected by the timing of property tax and local government aid receipts. Licenses and permits are performing ahead of budget, and investment income has already exceeded the annual budgeted amount. The net position is slightly below the prior year, mainly due to higher wage costs, vehicle repairs, and increased set-aside transfers for future capital projects. Here you can see general fund revenues through the second quarter. Year-to-date revenues total just over $1 million, or 28.2% of the annual budget. The lower percentage is primarily related to timing, since a significant portion of our property tax revenue and local government aid is received later in the year. Licenses and permits are performing ahead of budget, miscellaneous revenue is also strong, and overall revenues are tracking close to the prior year. General fund expenditures are also tracking within budget through the second quarter. Overall, departments are below 50% of their annual budgets, which is where we would expect to be at this point of the year. Public Works is the highest at about 48.1%, followed by Planning and Development and Administration and Finance. Public Safety and Parks and Recreation remains lower at 36.1% and 38.1% respectively. Overall, spending remains in a good position through quarter two. Here are a few highlights from other funds. TRICAP bus service costs are tracking in line with the budget. For capital projects, we'll continue monitoring project activity and related to financing needs. Fire department miscellaneous revenue is performing very well, coming in about 86% higher than the prior year through quarter two. Ambulance operating expenses are running slightly above budget, primarily due to Medicare billing adjustments. Overall, there are no significant concerns at this point, but these are areas we'll continue to monitor through the remainder of the year. Looking ahead to the second half of the year, we'll continue monitoring 2026 budget trends and refining our year-end projections. We'll also be looking closely at capital reserves and upcoming project needs, planning for future fire and emergency response needs, and beginning the 2027 budget and levy process with a focus on long-term financial planning. Overall, the city remains in a stable financial position through the second quarter. Revenues and expenditures are generally tracking as expected, and we'll continue to monitor the areas highlighted tonight as we move through the remainder of the year. I'll keep the council updated as we refine our year-end projections and work through the 2027 budget process. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Stearns County Veteran Services.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good evening. Corey Vasky, Director of Veteran Services for Stearns County. I think just a little bit of information. We're looking for an office space here in Melrose, and I think there might be a space here at the City Center. I've been in conversation with Tom and Sheila here about use of that space and looking to come to the council for approval, or at least informal approval right now in moving forward and securing that space. A little history, we used to have an office in the alternative school or with the school district up until about 2020 when COVID hit, and then the CVSO at the time retired, and then we had a series of turnover in CVSO staff and didn't have the ability to kind of get back out here. So our goal was always to come back out here into Western Stearns County. We did a We did a GIS study looking at drive times, and Melrose was the optimal location for western Stearns County. And so really would like to get back out here. Anecdotally, we receive a lot of comments back from the community wanting us back here in Melrose. So trying to find a way that makes sense for us to get back out here. We have looked at a number of other locations for various reasons. Those didn't work out. In some instances, cost was above what we were able to commit to. In other instances, space, the smallest partition of space, we looked at Stearns Electric and their some of the additional unused space in the old building, and that the smallest partition was still too big for what we needed, and there was no additional county plan to bring additional departments out there. And then there were two other places. One, the space didn't really fit. Another that maybe it could fit, but that ended up rented, and so that's no longer an option. So kind of started running out of options, but that's kind of the history of where we're at. Any questions?
What kind of access? You want 24 hours a day access, or just
No.
normal business hours? Do you need a key card?
Yeah, generally speaking, it's normal business hours. Our office hours in Wade Park are 8 to 4:30. We would be looking to kind of mirror that, but there's some flexibility depending on what can be available here. It looks to me like you guys are pretty flexible in terms of accessibility for the building. One of the issues has been sort of ADA access and, for spaces, and that's made it a little bit more difficult to find a space out in the community, just making it compliant. But yeah, PIV card access or key card access is something that we would need potentially to a building. If things were to move forward, we do have some funds for modifying space to make it accessible.
So yeah, just to take on to Corey's, we've had some discussions, so, we're looking at the little storage room at the end of the hallway here. We did some we looked at some modifications with Andrew's help of putting a door, ADA door on the end of the hallway here. And what that means is just putting in the buttons to be able to have the door open automatically. The width of the door is perfectly fine. The other thing too then is we're looking at adding a ramp at the end of the sidewalk there, taking up some of our green space to get to the parking lot so they don't have to come to the front of the building to get access to the parking lot, to their parking spots. So we'd look at that, and like Corey said, there are some funds available through the county to be able to make those modifications. There is another department too that would potentially like to come and use the building, and we would partition off conference room C to allow them to use that room, because they sometimes meet at nighttime with some farmers and
Yeah, I don't want to speak out of turn for the departments, but I would say that me having conversation with other department heads, there was interest in being out here, just not all the time.
Yep.
And so there was some interest in just having a space that they could use, whether it was they would use our office or if there was other space available. I think there's interest, so that they can meet with residents.
So,
And Corey, this has been a priority of mine since, we visited a few times over the years, when they left it, you have a lot of veterans that want to use it. It's a benefit for the community, it helps with everything here, and it's nice to have it here in Melrose. It's a perfect center for, people, so, I see it as a good thing, it's a benefit, using more of the rooms up here at City Hall. It's minimum cost, and just, I'm glad they're here,
so yeah, so we'd be looking at $300 a month rent is what we'd be charging. And we did, Sheila and I did some looking around and trying to figure out how do we compare this to rents in other portions of the town, so that we're not taking away business from other people. And as Corey mentioned, just rough spots, trying to find the location, and we did a cost comparison to Matt Imdick's location, that he has a couple offices located there, so that's how we derived at the $300 per month that we would look at charging them, just to help pay for, the cleaning and the wear and tear in the office, and the carpets and the little bit of electric.
Utilities and stuff.
Yep.
And it's another government entity, it's not like
Right.
it's a private business or anything, so I feel comfortable doing this. We're not taking away from a business per se, so.
Was there a term for the contract? Is it a yearly thing you renew, or is it every couple of years?
I know you sent over the contract, I can't remember looking at it, but I can look at that and get back to you guys on how long of a term, if we want that. We want it to renew every once a year, every 2 years. Let me look.
Sure.
Yeah. But it does also, you know, we're provide consideration for the approval of the drafting of the agreement to
Yep.
lease the storage area for the Mill City Center to use for the Stearns County as a Veteran Services Office pending the attorney's review, revisions, $300 a month paid to Melrose by Stearns County.
Yeah.
I think it leaves it open a little bit. So can I get a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
Would you, just a little clarification, would you want a 1-year term reviewed every year?
I just didn't know if there's like
I
a
think-
step increase or
See what
anything.
they wanna do, and then we
Yeah.
can,
Okay.
we can always go from
Yeah.
there, right?
Okay.
I think it's fair. You.
I think so. Like, I think how I see this working out is if you guys are in agreement and approved, then I still have to go back to the board and, some of the details have to be drawn up yet, so. We would come back and I would be happy to present or come back to present the details, of that and then, we would still, still pending final approval of anything we're
Yeah.
not.
Right.
Okay. Very good. Well, thank you.
Sure.
Cory.
Thank you.
Appreciate you
Cory.
being here. All right, we're on to B. I sent you a text, Tony.
Yes.
Look at it. So, did you look at it? It's
Yeah,
for your reading.
took it.
So I'm gonna step back. This is for the Melrose Fire Department para benefit increase, so, due to a conflict of interest for me, I will back up.
Okay. Turn it over to Joel, you can present your,
Good evening, council, mayor, attending. I'm Joe, I'm with the fire department. I'm here basically on behalf of our retirement for the department. We are currently set up with para as our retirement. Every year, they give us an annual review on where our benefits are and what we're allowed, and if we're allowed, an increase or whatnot. So we got that review, and based off the increase, we are currently funded at 123% at the rate that we are currently at. And that retirement is at $3,700 currently. How this is reviewed, or how the money comes from, it is funded through our state fire insurance, which is about 53,000, a little over, is put into it. 10,000 is based off of our annual budget, that's allocated to the city, and then the rest of the funds are through what we're accruing through interest off of our current fund. So with that being said, we're, like I mentioned, at 123% roughly funded at the current. What we're looking for is we're asking for an increase of $700. And that would put us up at $4,400. With that, we are still funded at 105%, and we've always kind of had this magic number of 103% funded. So we're asking for that increase. With that, the current members and stuff, you're only vested after 5 years at a tiered rate at 40%. So you don't get the full amount. It's tiered, and then it's 4% increase every year after that, up to a full vesting of 20 years, then you're fully 100% invested. With that, however, if you're retired before you're 50, you don't get that fund. It stays in the fund, and it keeps accruing interest until you're 50. So we could keep getting money from those individuals that maybe retire before they're 50 years old but have 20 years on. Right now, the average age of our members is around 39 years old. The average years of service is 12. We've got 6 members that have 20 plus years on, so they could retire at any point if they're interested. We have 1 at 15, and the rest are 14 years and under. So with that being said, if they wanted to retire within that average 12 years, whatever's left, they still are under 50, so they won't be able to draw any retirement out of that. It just keeps accruing interest. So we feel that it would be an honor to get that, that increase from the, or get the approval from you guys on that there. We go on roughly, we're averaging about 140 calls a year is what we're roughly on. We feel it's also a nice little retention to try and gain members and keep members on for durations of time. Yeah, so I'm looking to see if we could entertain the idea of an increase on that there.
Yeah, I think, I'll just go on. I was on the Relief Association, I don't know, the council member 5, 6, 7, might have been 9 years ago. I'm not even sure anymore. It's been a while. I didn't really understand how that worked right off the get-go, and my big concern was always, it's a fund, it's, after the 07 crisis and the stock market crash, all the public pensions they were belly up. They were so far behind, and all the pensioners still drawing on the lowered amount. But with this one, looking at it, you have a lot of accounting in there for some people that probably will never draw.
Correct.
We also have the, what's the subsidy that's insurance kicks in? Everybody's fire insurance, I can't remember.
Oh, the 2% state line.
Yeah, you get
Yep.
that
Yep.
contributing to it. I think the 104%, and just watching that little blip, I think, I can't remember, it was 2019, 2020 in the stock market. I actually did check on it, and it did not go down. It went down, but it wasn't like really horribly detrimental. And it would take a massive stock market crash and sustain, low where it didn't come back. I think before we would be really underwater on this. So, you're requesting 104, 105%, that level. It's good you come back and ask for it every year. Could set it on autopilot almost, just say, whatever, readdress it every year. As long as it's at the 104%, that's the purpose of it. We just want to make sure that it stays healthy for everybody in the future, not, we have a stock market correction and 3 people pulled their pension out and it lowers a lot. 3 people pull their pension out, now you have that lower amount to grow as the stock market grows.
Correct, yeah.
Now you're not going to get any large
Correct.
increases like you're getting now.
Right. Correct, yeah, we wouldn't ask for any increase
Right.
at that point.
Right, so,
Until it was healthy again.
right, but as long as I think it's still healthy, it's plenty healthy, so.
So
I don't have a problem with the 100 and, what'd you ask for?
It'd be 105%.
105% at 4,400.
And that'd be at a $4,400.
So,
Correct.
So just to add a little bit too, is since the fund has been with us, on average from the good years to no good years and not having any increase at all, we averaged out $200 a year since we've been on this
right.
plan. So that's been the increase on average for the last, 14 years?
14 years.
14 years we've
It
been.
was a really good decision to go this
Yes.
direction.
This
Yeah.
retirement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We feel it was really a good benefit for us and the community.
Right, yeah.
There's, there's departments throughout the whole state are all pulled in, so it's fairly healthy.
Right.
fund.
Yep,
And this para only affects the fire department, because their school's got para, I'm sure, Police Chief Melrose has para. But this is only your fund?
Yes, this is for the fire department fund. It's allocated
But
to the fire
it's not, there's
department.
no funds allocated, it's not one big slush fund where they pull out of?
No, each, like, police has their own,
Yeah.
fire has their own,
Yeah.
teachers have their own, so yeah, no, it's just.
Each entity has their
Right.
own fund.
there's a certain dollar figure, what is the total balance, 1,258 or something to that effect, and that's invested in funds. So based on how the funds do, that's part of it.
Which, this is one portion of the large pool of all fire departments associated with this para fund. So the overall, I tried to look it up today, what the overall budget, or I shouldn't say budget, what this fund balance is of all the fire departments put together. I was unable to find that, but it's the metros, it's anybody in the state of Minnesota here, so.
Right.
And we our little portion of it is, that's the percentage that the fire department gets out of. So, it's a very watched, because I can get you find out what the amount is, but it's a very watched fund versus us having our own separate fund like a lot of the departments around here do.
It's monitored pretty tight.
Just trying to understand the massive growth in this last 2 years, because last year we went up $400. This year we're going up $700. Over the last, how many years before that, it was always kind of a slow, steady growth. What changed in the last 2 years if it's not mostly stock market and the dividends of the stock market driving it? We're not contributing anymore. Is the state contributing
Yeah,
anymore?
the 2% keeps increasing based off, the 2% from the state fire increases every year from the insurances. That increases every year, and whatever interest that we're accruing or is in there is also keeps accruing because of the high volume of what we have for dollar amount in there that is not being taken. So that return is also helping grow that.
And if you look at your,
The stock market is, I mean, I don't know what they're invested in, but it is invested in mutual funds.
We have stock and we have savings, because you're talking about interest. Are we talking interest or dividends?
I would say dividends first.
Dividends.
I would say more
It's
dividends
the
and-
market.
So it's
And
driven off the
growth.
market, and the market has been good the last couple of years.
Right.
But you're saying going up, this wild swing doesn't make a whole lot of a difference, but it's gone up. 400 last year?
No, the little blip we had in 1920, it didn't get below like 98% funded, even though we've been giving the increase up to the 104%, 103, 100. I should say down to 103, 104%, because right now it's,
123.
we're at 122% funded. You know, does that make sense?
It does, and I guarantee, I agree they should take it. It just seems like I just don't understand how it got to grow so fast. And if it can grow that fast, how it can't go down that fast. And if it goes down, the taxpayers are now liable for
Yep.
the difference. And that concerns me, because I don't completely understand it. And I
Yeah.
tried to reach out, but there's other things with the city to,
It concerned me too before, because it just seemed like, well, what happens if we have a stock market crash and then people pull their money out, now there's
now
not
the
as
taxpayers
much to
liable
grow.
for all of it.
Well, yeah, but there's only, how many people are fully vested right now?
Currently, right now, we have 6 that are fully vested.
Fully vested.
Yeah,
Can pull
so
out
we'd
their
have
full
22 that are
allocation.
not, so that money can't be withdrawn from
Right.
that market, stays in there, and then it could regrow.
Yeah. So you're still gonna have a balance there.
Yeah,
You know, you're still gonna have a significant amount of money there, even if all the people that are fully vested pull the
or
money out.
even partially vested,
Right.
whatever, that's the
Right.
liability is at 1.2
Right.
or what. But not everybody can draw it till they can't draw the full till they're 20, and they can't draw it till they're 50. So that money will automatically stay in there, and then that will just grow.
and this isn't unique to Melrose. You're seeing this statewide for
Oh, yeah.
fire departments that are vested in para.
I checked out with a couple local other departments that have para, and just for a comparison, like Osakas, for example, you know, a little bit smaller, comparable kind of. They're at 6,600 currently. They're going for an increase this year of 500 again because they're funded at 120-some% too. So they're looking out. Malacca, familiar with the size, they're at 6,800. Little Falls, they're at 49, but they also have, I think we're at 138% funded, so they could easily take an increase. But they're leaving that in the market, essentially for para, just to play with.
Yeah, and this is only if somebody retires and they draw it out. It's only changing the payout
The
for
payout amount.
retirees. That's the only thing it's doing. It's not moving money around. It's not doing it. It's only if somebody retires and they draw the money out. Does that make sense?
And we currently have some members that
$4,400
have,
per year.
I don't want to say retired, but retire, that can't draw yet, so we still got that money in the pool yet too, and that's still gaining dividends on.
Right.
Because they're not 50, so they can't draw it, so that's still gaining, or increasing the percentage there, because they can't draw it out. And those that retired, and most of them, I think, are actually before 20 years, so they don't get the full payout, it's at the tier grade.
And then those dividends go back into the pool versus going to themselves. So example is, we had a retiree a guy that retired, and he was paid out at whatever the rate was at that year, and he had to the funds had to sit in that fund for 5 years. So those 5 years of his, it was somewhere to the tune of $70,000. That interest money was going back into the pool and not going to his, because he capped off at when he retired. So
Right.
it's kind of another way of keeping that fund growing.
Healthy, yeah. I don't know. Are you okay with it?
I'm just trying to understand how it grew so fast. It just makes me nervous when things all of a sudden shoot up and then they
Yeah,
shoot down and
You'd have to dig into, like, all the moving parts in this one, how it's funded, and I think it's very conservative, honest. I mean,
if
It's-
Tony says
it's
it's
safe.
conservative,
Yeah,
then I'd
it's-
probably say it's probably
When,
right.
I went through this
I'd say when we
enough
brought
times.
this to Tony, back
I
in
was like, wow, how can we-
2013,
Yeah,
it was, he looked into it a lot, and he was hesitant, just like you, Mark.
yeah.
And he got comfortable with it as it grew, so Tony's,
So when I'm confronted with the taxpayer, it's not costing the taxpayers any more money at this point. This is dividend driven, and the retirement fund funds itself. So the retirement is just like a 401K, it's mostly market, and insurance and other external sources are driving
Are
the
driving
funding.
the increase.
Right.
yep.
Okay, I'm satisfied, I guess.
Motion to approve. Can I get a motion to approve?
Second.
Scott, did you
Second.
have any questions?
No,
Oh, sorry, Scott.
nope, let's go.
All in favor? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thanks a lot, guys.
And I
Yeah.
abstain from now on. October City Council meeting time, date?
Yeah, so, just looking ahead to, the October, we do have MEA week set up the week that, our normal council meeting is set. And so history has been proven, going back to history is you bump it back a week. So we just wanna kinda get, your action or thoughts on, do we wanna keep it, for MEA, that Thursday MEA, or do we wanna push it to the fourth, Thursday of that month, so which would be Thursday, October 23rd?
I have no preference.
I don't have one.
22nd, maybe?
What's that?
Did you say
22nd?
the 23rd?
23rd, Thursday, October 23rd would be the Thursday after MEA week.
22nd.
I got 22nd.
Oh, is it
I think so. I don't know, I'm looking at it.
Okay,
Must have been the wrong year, but,
You're right, it is the 22nd.
okay,
okay.
so
No, that should be fine.
we'll change it
It's a
to
good plan.
October 22nd then,
I like
just
it.
looking ahead.
Good.
Okay,
Then we're on the informational items. Next council meeting is September 17th at 6. Then there was schools and meetings. Unless there's anything else, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned.